Hello guys, this is Bakar from Pakistan. So today I wanna conduct a second interview attempt to record a video with Nisanka. He's a professional pharmacist, and so today I wanna conduct a meeting or interview with him. Thank you. Okay, Nisanka, how are you?
Yeah, yeah, I'm well.
Okay, what's time there right now?
Yeah, now it's 7 a.m. This morning time.
Okay, I think we have just only 30 minutes of difference between Pakistan
30 minutes, yeah. We have a 30-minute difference, yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so describe your profession as a pharmacist.
Yeah, pharmacist, pharmacists are doing the vital role in the world. And same way, we can clarify the different kind of pharmacists. And there are some type of pharmacists like clinical pharmacy, industrial pharmacy, research and development pharmacy, hospital pharmacy, community pharmacy, retail pharmacy, wholesale pharmacy. Like that, in society we can see those kind of position or professions. Regarding me, I am a hospital pharmacist, and same way sometimes I have to do community pharmacist job also. In that case, we have to play reality because normally I am a hospital pharmacist, especially during disaster periods. We have to vital role as a community pharmacist as well. Yeah.
Well, I thought just only the pharmacist's role in the shop or medical care, just prescribe the medication for the patient, something like that. But they have a lot of the options and a lot of professionals, especially in the pharmacists. That was really amazing for me to hear about you. Okay, that's cool. If you don't mind, I will ask you some several questions about the pharmacist because that's a really interesting field for me also. Can you describe a typical day responsibility as a pharmacist?
Yeah, as a hospital pharmacist, I have to play a vital role inside my hospital. Most of time these days, my main role is I have to work in a clinic, and then I'm not in a clinic pharmacy, and mainly my job role is compounding and dispensing drugs, and my first one, and same way I have to maintain all the records and receiving drugs, issuing drugs. These things I have to maintain well because someday I have to face audit inquiry also, and finally these things are converted to money. And that's why I have to keep clear records. And same way, it is very important to storing drugs. And to get proper therapeutic effect, we should store drugs well. Especially we have to maintain cold change, and we have to daily monitor fridges and what are the temperatures like that. And other thing is I have to play as oncology pharmacist in my hospital. There is a separate oncology unit. That means it treats for cancer patient. In that case, we have to reconstitute some kind of injections and some drugs to administration for patient. And that thing also I have to do. And same way, some kind of patient counseling, and day by day there are many people patients are coming to hospital, and we have to dispense some drugs, and same way we have to counseling them well, otherwise they don't have a proper knowledge. And if we are prescribing some kind of drugs, we should give them a proper knowledge how they handle, how they takes those drugs, and mainly these are the main thing I have to do. And same way I have to perform as administrative tasks also, and these are the main thing. And pharmacist is a bond between doctors and patient, and we have to communicate well with these two professions.
Exactly, you're right. And that is a tough job. Before I just thought, some of your services, like just a doctor prescribed the medication for the patient and then you just dispense him. that medication and just tell him how can you use that dose and morning and evening before the eating, after the eating, something like that. But you have a lot of responsibility, maintain the card and give him a date and call the patient. So today you have a date with the doctor. So what of responsibility you have? So that's a really tough job. So could you tell me a little bit about the corona period? That time you are perform your job in same position, and how can you
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that?
yeah. Actually, that was a so tough time to us because sometimes we have to sit up many days in the hospital, and those days normally all the clinics didn't function because that cases we have to distribute drops throughout the patient, and in that case there are many records regarding patients, and there is a special system within our hospital, and when we can get all the information, telephone numbers, addresses, what kind of drugs patient are taking, like that. After getting those details, we separately pack all drugs according to their prescriptions, and then we have to force all the drugs throughout the area, and it is quite a long process, but we did it well. As a result, our dedication, we could serve a lot of life, and we could manage a COVID pandemic situation as well. It is so difficult to control, and when people were gathering those days, it is really spreading the virus, and that's time was so tough to us, and somehow we could manage those things well.
And in that period, definitely your parents, your family, your mother, they are a lot of concerned about your job because the paramedical staff, the pharmacists, the doctors, they are the front line, especially in the corona period.
Yeah.
So, how do you handle in that situation your family?
Yeah, actually, I didn't have any fear for that, but I wanna to concern about my family, because if I brought that virus to my family, it's really a very terrible thing to me, and in that case, I have to get some precaution to prevent that virus. And normally, when before I coming back to the home, I sanitize every cloth, and I got to wash. And I did everything. I used to try to do every precautions for that. And fortunately, I could manage that time. Especially, I have two kids, and I wanted to look after their health also. And my COVID wards, it is very close to my office,
Exactly.
my
Initial
clinic.
stage, initial stage when the corona disease are affected the peoples, so that time there's a huge, the fear on the peoples, distance the peoples and use the mask, the how can we prevent this coronavirus. So that was a huge fear in the community in all over the world. And I seen a lot of matches, cricket matches is definitely in your country and Pakistan and everywhere without the supporters in the ground. The ground was totally empty. And here in Pakistan, in our country, everywhere in mosque, there was a loudspeaker using for the peoples. So don't go outside from the village and just restrict it to your home. And school was closed. I remember that all these stories, and especially when a guy they visit to another city for some reason, when they back to home, so didn't want to meet with him because they expected definitely comes from another city. They have a little bit of virus, something like that. So for you, definitely that's also tough when every day you go to hospitals. There's definitely the corona patient also was there, and that was really tough situation you handle in that period. So okay, now move to another question. How do you handle the interaction with the patient with they have consult about the medications and a lot of questions they ask you about the medication. So how you handle that kind of patients. I'm also same like these kind of patient when I have a disease or something like that. When I meet with the doctors, appointment, they prescribe me a medication, and so doctor doesn't have a time. They can explain you everything, and they say next. After that, you meet with the pharmacist. They spend you a medication. You ask you questions. So how we use this product, how we use this medication. So in normal situation, how you handle these kind of patients? They ask you a lot of concern. They have a lot of concern about the medication or questions.
Yeah, actually, there is a very nice question. In my hospital, normally we have to dispense around 250 to 350 per day. It is quite a tough job, and in this condition, it is so difficult to deal with patient. But anyway, we have to do our job because a lot of things from us, and if there are any problem with them, they don't take their medicine properly. In that case, first we should have good human qualities for that. And if any patient come to me, first I really allowed to communicate well, and communication it is a very important thing when dealing with patient. And there are different kind of patient in hospital, especially dealing with the psychiatric patient. It is so tough, and it is so difficult to control them. They think only their choice, and they don't think about medicine, and same way their family members also should be there to control them. And some patients don't take their medicine regularly, and in that case we should carefully monitor those things. First, one is we should listen to them well, and if we don't listen to them, they don't talk with us properly, and in that case we can catch what are the areas we should concern about their prescription and their medication. And next, we should be kind for them, and otherwise when we can explain our ideas, some kind of it may be a tough situation, if we can do it very smoothly. And kindness is a very important thing when dealing with patient. And patient has suffered a lot with a lot of cases, not only disease, and sometimes they are suffering with a lot of economical situation like that. In that cases, we should concern those things also. And same way, I try to use simple words, medical terms, and some kind of way we are expressing some things. It can be tough to them. Then I use simple words. This way you should practice. And other thing is, we always try to introduce them a practical thing. Sometimes some people don't have.
I'm sorry for interruption. Well, in the same situation, I face a lot of time. Sometimes the doctor, the pharmacist, they are professional peoples. They are professionals, so they are using sometimes so difficult term, difficult words. It's easy for him, but it's not easy for us to understand that questions, that problems. So that is issue. That's issue I face a lot of time.
Yeah. It is
because,
we should have
because in our country the doctors, their handwriting is so much difficult to understand for the any peoples. So how the pharmacist for you to ensure the accuracy of this prescription?
Yeah, actually that problem also arise within my country also. Some doctors' handwritings are so tough to read. Because of this reason, in several bad cases have also happened, and some patients had to compensate their life also. And I think every doctor should do something for this. And in present situation in my country, most of time there are some kind of system have been introduced to hospital, and in that case that fault we can minimize. But practically when we are getting used to this letter writings and prescription. We have proper knowledge for that, and sometimes they write only one or two words, and in that case, we should have a good knowledge to identify what is the dose, what is the frequency, and what duration, all the things we. But in some cases, there are many brands in the same generic name, and that is a sort of thing. Most of time, that generic name close to another drug. In that case, we have to discuss this patient to clarify what is the exact drugs. And I can mention two generic drugs, carbamazepine and carbimazole. Carbamazepine given for epileptic situation. Carbimazole, it is given for some kind of thyroid problems. In both two names are so complicated when doctors are writing those two names, then we can identify these what are the correct one, what are the incorrect one. Then we should have a proper communication with patient, and we can ask lot of problem with what is the condition, when what kind of situation you did, what are the other drugs you are taking, like that. Then we can clarify, then we can focus on these things. Then we have a good idea about drugs. Then we can investigation should be there, otherwise we can't those things.
Well, another question is coming in my mind right now. That is related with the medications. In our country, when you buy one medication in the medical stores, so there is on top there is a brand name, but under the brand name there is a generic name. So how about your country?
Yeah. You know, in my country also, drugs field, it is a very huge business, and sometimes generic names and brand names. There are two types. Most of doctors are trying to write every drugs in a brand names, and because they can earn a lot of money because of that thing. Some kind of organization, some kind of companies come to them, they promote their drugs, and in that case, that's why they write those brands. But in my country, there is a special government unit, and they brings every drugs, SPMC, that called SPMC. They provide better drugs and quality drugs. In most of time, we can buy drugs for a reasonable price, and most of people use Susala conducted by government. When we are going to Susala, then we can get affordable price. There are affordable price for drugs, and in some cases, doctors highly write these drugs should be get, otherwise you can't get a proper therapeutic effects, like that. They promote those things, but I don't recommend those things, and we should concern about patient health and as well as their economy also.
Same situation we are handling our country. Some of doctors, they are just promoting some of brand. Maybe they pay him, they pay this doctor, so that's why they are prescribed for every patient the same brand. Well, okay, some of questions again in my mind. That's out of context, but I have to ask that question. In our country, some of students, when they apply for as a pharmacist, when they complete his degree, so then they are able to launch his medical store. So then they are prescribed the doctor's medication, they spend for the patient. Like if I go to market, so if I'm interested to buy some medication, so if I visit to a medical store, so definitely they provide me because they have a license and they open his huge store. So in your country, same process?
Yeah, that is a very important question. To be a pharmacist, there should be some kind of qualification in my country. First, we should have a degree. First one, and all the degrees conducted by universities. One degree is BSc Pharmacy degree, and other one is B Pharm degree. If someone has these two, we can practice as a pharmacist. And other thing is there is a special course that conducted by medical faculty in Colombo. I also did that course. It is a higher diploma course. It's a higher diploma course, academic course. And in that case, we have to learn many things regarding drugs, not only drugs and legal things like that, and other things. It called proficiency as pharmacist, and other one is efficiency as pharmacist. In those four ways, we can practice as a pharmacist. And in that case, not only that, we have to register Sri Lankan Medical Council, and Medical Council is who are the responsible person and who are the investigating everything regarding pharmacist, and same they find the details about the doctors as well. And if we have followed these things, we have qualification to practice as a pharmacist in my country, and we can do retail, and we can do wholesale, and we can manufacture drugs, and in every cases we should have a proper license for that, and proper qualification also should be there.
In our country, if you visit to medical stores, that some of patients didn't have enough money. They are a little bit poor. So they say, just give me some discount, or I just give you 50%. When you are face this kind of situation in your hospital or in your medical care center, so how you handle that? Some patient didn't have enough money.
Yeah. Actually, we don't need that face to that problem, because our health sector, government health sector, is totally free in my country, and in private sectors also there. If someone don't have enough money, anyone can go to the government hospital. They can get the service 100% free, to pay money. But in some cases, especially some people don't like to enter government hospital because of there are many crowd, and patients are so there are many patients, and hospital are always busy, and that's why some people don't like to go there. But in some cases, people are trying to go to a private sectors, but in that case, they have to spend much money. And other thing is, most of time I have seen government doctors, they are their profession in private hospital as well. If some patient says they can't bear this amount to do this surgery or any other things, then those doctors send them to the hospital, and same way they can do their surgeries as well. Is that thing also happening around my hospital also? But most of time private sectors, they don't allow to reduce their prices, and somehow they do it according to their choice. And most of people are joining to everyday government sectors because it is 100% free. That's why the reason.
That's amazing. Well, let me ensure one thing: where you are doing a job, in the private sector or in the government sector?
Yeah, now I'm doing a government server. I'm a government pharmacist, and before that I work as a retail pharmacist before 10 years ago in market, and now I had to think that is so nice thing to working in government, because I can do a lot of things for my country.
Well, 1 and 2 years back, when your country was default, economically your country was bankrupt. So that period, your country, your government, they pay you salary or not?
They pay us salary, but there was some reductions. But we didn't face that problem much, because maintain better health within the country. It is a very important thing, and it is essential service. And there were some problems with us, especially fuel shortage, drug shortage, and we faced a lot of problems during that stage. Anyway, our salaries, the government paid well, and with some problems, but government could manage that things. But there
Okay.
was many problems within hospitals because there were not some kind of drugs, some essential drug also. There was not drug shortage. The drugs shortage highly affected the patient those periods, and we didn't have proper traveling facilities, and that problem also we somehow we could overcome. Anyway, now situation is quite pretty good compared with last 2 or 3 years.
Okay, that's really amazing. Well, the healthcare is the top priority in everywhere in every country. So that's why they must have to pay for the healthcare, for the paramedical staff, for the hospitals. So that's really essential. Okay, the next question is how do you handle the situation where there might be a conflict between the patient's medical issues again and again, and the doctor prescribe him a medication. So when the patients come to your hospital, they say, I didn't find out any progress in my body. So how do you handle these kind of situations when you're facing from some patient?
Yeah, practically, I have faced that kind of problems. Mainly disease and disease and drugs. In that cases, we have to concern about the prescription, and sometimes there may be a huge difference between disease and the prescribed drugs. In those cases, I remember there was a asthmatic patient, and same way he is a cardiac patient. In that case, asthmatic patient, they can't breathe well, they suffer and they are fighting with breathing. And same way a cardiac patient, they don't have proper function their heart. In that case there are specific drugs, bisoprolol. In when some people take bisoprolol, asthma condition can be worse. And in that case, the doctors didn't notice that thing. Finally, he sent that prescription to us, and I carefully concerned every day. Normally, it's come from practical, and when we are using to read this prescription, we clearly identify these are the problem with this prescription, and this is not the right dose. Sometimes they have exceed maximum dose, and sometimes the dose not within the therapeutic range to give the patient. If we notice those kind of problems, we have to clarify those things. Sometimes we can talk with the patient, and we have our ability to change those things. But if we can't get some idea regarding that particular prescription, we can send to the patient to the doctors, and the same way we can get a call, or we can go to the doctor, and we can communicate what are the problems with this prescription. In that case, I discussed with doctors. Doctor at that time, he didn't concern about that. After telling that thing, he thanked me, and we could manage that incidents well. And same way, there are a lot of issues with prescribers and prescriptions. In previously also I told that we are the bond between doctors and patient. We have a huge role. We have a vital role to do better way to this job, and that's why without any complication, and we have good mind to do it. Otherwise, it may cause a lot of problem. It can harmful to patient. Yeah.
So, well, Sanika, thank you so much for your time. For the lack of time, so definitely I wanted to, complete this interview, and I'm really thankful for this interview, for your timing. You share with me a lot of stories, a lot of informative informations. Share with me. After the interview, definitely I will connect with you. I have a lot of medication in my home. Doctors sometimes prescribe for different disease, and sometimes we we didn't take that, we didn't completely finish our course, and some of medication still we have at my home. And I'm going to ask you, so for which disease we are using these kind of medications, so definitely I will ask you. And thank you once again for your time. Did you say something in 30 seconds, because I wanted to finish this interview?
Yeah, actually, I really thank you, and I like to talk about my profession because it is very important to everyone. And it is some people don't know about the drugs, and so this field is so complicated, man. And sometimes some drugs with them, and without the lack of their knowledge, they have to pay much money for them. And if someone has a proper knowledge, they can manage the drugs that with their hands.
Thank you so much, Sanka. We have just only a few seconds. I want to just wrap up this meetings. And thank you so much, guys, for having with us. And if you are interested to conduct interview with me, so I'm here. Just communicate with me. Just contact me. Thank you, guys, and thank you once again, Nishanka, for your time. Bye bye.
Okay, back to you. Yeah. Okay. Bye bye. Let's meet you again. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.